Well, it's been a minute since ASU baseball has played their games here at Packard Stadium, but so many talented ball players coming through here and then eventually on to the major league level. There's another group of players that wanted to come here, wanted this to be their college home, but because of the MLB draft and where they were selected, they opted to go the professional route. For some of those players, you're still feeling that impact at the major league level.
I remember when you walk into the old ASU field, there's a big wall of Rosenblatt Stadium, and Pat Murphy grabbed me by my shoulders like, "You see that? We go there every year. Do you want to be a part of that?" And I was like, "Dang." I'm like, "Yeah, I do. I do want to be a part of that." He's like, "So you're going to commit to us?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then that's how it went.
Ike Davis was my host when I went for my visit, and he was just the coolest guy. They were all about winning. I think they did whatever it took to win. I think Murphy was a guy that that was the biggest concern he had, was winning, and the mentality he had, and just seeing how he was with the guys, seeing how intense he was something I liked.
They had, Ike Davis, Brett Wallace, Kipnis, a bunch of studs on that team.
Kids just find themselves at 18, 19. They get in the right environment. They grow. They take to it. You know what I mean? They want to be better. And Pedroia was like the trendsetter. When people saw that, I think it really made it easy for guys. John Lester, before that was Prince Fielder, and Jimmy Rollins. They all wanted to come to ASU because of the tradition. But then when people saw Pedroia, it's like, wow, I like the way they play.
I think Murphy was such a big deal. The guys, once you finally got to meet him and get to talk to him, I think that was just the final piece for everybody, and that kind of confirmed that everybody wanted to go there and wanted to be there and wanted to be a part of his teams.
We kind of expected Nolan to go out. And John Lester, we didn't know, maybe. Jimmy Rollins, we didn't know at the first, but then towards the end. Prince Fielder, we knew, But there's other guys that you expect to go high and they don't.
College baseball coaches have always had to strike a balance between recruiting and losing commits to the draft. For ASU in the 2008 and 2009 classes, that was ramped up even more with household MLB names.
I got drafted by Kansas City, fell in love with the organization. Everything worked out. I wouldn't change anything, although I would have loved to experience a year at ASU at least.
Or if I wasn't a top 5 round pick, then I would have to question if I was going to go to ASU or sign. I was thankful that I got drafted high enough to where it was really a no-brainer. But I wanted to go play pro ball.
I was drafted by Miami, and then the first rounder for Miami that year was also going to Arizona State, Kyle Skipworth. So the first and second rounder of Miami's draft were both going there, didn't end up going.
Between these major leaguers and a Sun Devil roster that was talented enough to get to Omaha consistently, ASU fans may be thinking, what could have been?
We would always say, if it was similar rules to football where you had to go to college and play baseball, I think some of those ASU teams would have been some of the better baseball teams put together. But
Murphy always thought of his favorite candy when it came to his recruiting approach.
When I was young, they had candies called Lifesavers, and they came in a pack. And the first thing everybody did is open Lifesavers and went to the red ones. Well, sometimes the orange ones are good too when the red ones are gone. So I looked at recruiting like that. There's the red Lifesavers, but you can build a pretty good team with orange Lifesavers. So I try to keep that in mind. And a lot of the orange Lifesavers end up being red ones later on in baseball.